all coincidences with real people are random. If they tell you that this is not the case, ignore them. Barry Allen, known to the world as the Flash, had always been the fastest man alive. He used his incredible speed to fight crime and protect Central City from villains. Despite the challenges, Barry loved being a hero, and the people of Central City loved him for it. However, Barry had recently been feeling a strange sense of unease. He couldn't quite put his finger on it, but something in the Speed Force felt off. One evening, while on a routine patrol, Barry encountered a new threat, a villain calling himself Tempest. Tempest had the power to manipulate weather patterns, creating deadly storms and wreaking havoc on the city. Barry had faced many enemies before, but Tempest's power was unlike anything he had ever seen. The skies turned dark, and a massive storm began to form over Central City. Lightning cracked and thunder roared as Tempest unleashed his fury. Determined to stop him, Barry raced towards the heart of the storm. His speed created a whirlwind, but Tempest only grew stronger, feeding off the chaotic energy. Barry pushed himself harder, running faster than ever before, hoping to outpace the storm and neutralize Tempest's power. As Barry ran, he began to feel the strain on his body. The Speed Force, the source of his powers, felt unstable and erratic. Ignoring the warning signs, Barry continued to push his limits. He needed to stop Tempest before the entire city was destroyed. With one final burst of speed, Barry broke through the storm and tackled Tempest. The two clashed in a whirlwind of lightning and wind, their powers colliding in a spectacular display of energy. In the midst of the battle, Barry felt a sharp pain in his chest. The Speed Force within him surged uncontrollably, and he realized too late that he had gone too far. A blinding flash of light erupted from Barry, enveloping both him and Tempest. The storm dissipated, but the damage had already been done. Barry's reckless use of the Speed Force had caused a catastrophic rift, sending shockwaves through the very fabric of reality. Barry awoke to find himself in a desolate wasteland. The once vibrant city of Central City lay in ruins, its buildings reduced to rubble and its streets empty. The sky above was a dark, swirling vortex, a constant reminder of the damage he had caused. As he wandered through the wreckage, Barry encountered other survivors, people he had once sworn to protect. Their faces were etched with fear and desperation. The rift in the Speed Force had unleashed a series of natural disasters across the globe. Earthquakes, tsunamis, and storms ravaged the planet. Millions had perished, and those who remained struggled to survive in a world that had become a nightmare. Barry's guilt was overwhelming. He had always believed that his powers were a gift, meant to help others. But now, he saw them as a curse. His actions had brought about the end of the world, and there was no way to undo the damage. As the days turned into weeks, Barry's mental state began to deteriorate. The constant strain of the Speed Force and the weight of his guilt took their toll. He became obsessed with finding a way to repair the rift, to restore the world to its former state. He spent countless hours running, searching for answers in the ruins of Central City and beyond. During his search, Barry discovered that the rift in the Speed Force had also unleashed something far worse: dark, malevolent entities that thrived on chaos and destruction. These creatures, known as the Shadows, emerged from the rift and began to hunt the remaining survivors. They were drawn to Barry, sensing his connection to the Speed Force. Haunted by visions of the people he had failed to save, Barry's mind began to fracture. He heard their voices, felt their pain, and saw their faces everywhere he went. The Shadows whispered to him, feeding on his despair and driving him further into madness. In a last desperate attempt to set things right, Barry sought out the one person who might be able to help Eobard Thawne, the Reverse Flash. Thawne had always been his greatest enemy, but Barry hoped that their shared connection to the Speed Force could provide a solution. Tracking Thawne to a hidden lair, Barry confronted him. The Reverse Flash, sensing Barry's desperation, agreed to help, but at a cost. Thawne wanted Barry to relinquish his connection to the Speed Force, to give up the very thing that made him the Flash. Desperate and broken, Barry agreed. Thawne began the process, channeling the Speed Force energy from Barry into himself. As the transfer progressed, the Shadows descended upon them, drawn by the immense power. A fierce battle erupted, with Barry and Thawne fighting side by side against the Shadows. Despite their combined efforts, the creatures overwhelmed them. In a final act of defiance, Thawne unleashed the full power of the Speed Force, creating a massive explosion that obliterated the shadows. The explosion left Barry and Thawne severely injured. Thawne's body disintegrated, unable to contain the immense energy. Barry, now stripped of his powers, lay on the ground, barely clinging to life. The rift in the Speed Force remained, and the world continued to suffer. As Barry lay dying, he reflected on his actions and their consequences. He had tried to be a hero, but his recklessness had brought about unimaginable destruction. The once great Flash was now just a man, broken and defeated. In his final moments, Barry saw visions of his loved ones, his parents, Iris, and his friends. He whispered a final apology, hoping that they would find peace in the afterlife. As darkness closed in, Barry Allen, the fastest man alive, took his last breath. The world Barry left behind was a shadow of its former self. The rift in the Speed Force remained, a constant source of chaos and destruction. The survivors struggled to rebuild, haunted by the memories of those they had lost. Barry's legacy was a tale of caution, a reminder of the thin line between heroism and recklessness. The once vibrant world was now a wasteland, a testament to the dangers of unchecked power. In the end, the Flash's story was a tragic one. A hero who had tried to save the world, only to bring about its ruin. His name became a legend, a haunting reminder of the price of failure. The world moved on, but the scars remained, a permanent mark of the horrors unleashed by the Flash.